It's Thursday, July 25th. We are going to wish a WNBA player a very happy birthday today. And I have all the best women's basketball news for you guys. It's Gigi Speer. It's Locked On Women's Basketball. Let's get this thing going.
You are Locked On Women's Basketball, your daily podcast on women's basketball. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
That's right. It is the Locked On Podcast Network, and we are so happy to be your very first listen of the day. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Ooh, purchase. Terms apply. All right. We got that out of the way, guys. Happy Thursday. I hope you're all doing well. And I know one WNBA star that's doing super well, and that's Miss Angel Reese. It was announced that she, the Barbie, is joining the unrivaled 3-on-3 basketball league. She now is the 10th player to join Fee and Stewie's league. Guys, this is huge news. Like, unrivaled. Do you guys remember their promise? What they said that they would do as a league? That they would pay players such a competitive salary. They're going to pay the highest average salary in female professional sports history. So let's just talk about those numbers, at least just for Angel Reese, okay? And so I do my research on this. I find out Angel's set to make about $300K with the WNBA. She's averaging a double-double. She's going to be joining Arike. You know her? Jewel Lloyd. You know her? Kelsey Plum, Ryan Howard, Kalia Copper, and Jackie Young. Of course, also joining Brianna Stewart and Nafisa Collier, the Olympians that are going to be fighting their way in Paris. How huge is this news? Because with Angel Reese, you also get an entire generation. Can we say that? Angel Reese joins the Unrivaled League. And I'm so excited to watch this because this is going to give fans something to look forward to when it's not the W season. And I'm not going to lie, I do love Athletes Unlimited. I love AU Hoops. I actually think it's a great league. But the broadcasts sometimes aren't as exciting as they could be. So I'm wondering if with the 3-on-3 league, the Unrivaled League, 6 teams, 30 players, and all the founding players receive equity in the league. So there's built in not only a system of fair payment, it's fair ownership, but then basketball wise, you imagine 6 teams, 30 players, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. That's about 5 players per team. 5 players. And just think of the 10 that they've named already, in addition to Stewie and Collier. Fee and Stewie, I'm sorry, are on their own. If they're ever on a team of 3 together, I think that's amazing. And now I'm just left to wonder how great Angel Reese as an addition to this league is going to be. And I cannot even imagine just how well this league has the potential to do right now. Because what Athletes Unlimited makes it hard to do, and actually it's pretty impossible because you would just be picking a color. It makes it hard to root for a particular team because it's not like the W. It's not like you have a set roster and they play the entire season together. No, these teams change every week. There's a draft every single week, playground style. Remember that? Oh, I don't have a team yet. Or you were like, yup, early pick. In today's episode, moving from the news, because that's the way I have to do it. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking to you guys about the birthday girl, the one and only, really the one and only. And when I say I'm going to be talking to you about Shakira Austin, if you've been following me, you've been following Locked On Women's Basketball, you know I've posted this episode, or the show, for 3 days in a row now, and I'm having a lot of fun. So much so that in the latest episode, recapping the USA and Germany game, I had a very important guest on. It's Sir B. Terrell. I told you in the end of the episode that we would have a great guest on. I'm going to be so honest with you. You're going to be surprised about the guest in segment 2. And I could tell you who it is right now. But I'm not gonna. I'm going to tell you what we're going to do in segment 2 and segment 3. If you're watching this on video, you know how this is divvied up. We went over women's hoops news. You're still here with me. Shakira's beginnings is segment 2. Then we're going to go on to Shakira's development and future beyond basketball. So I will tell you now who the guest will be. Today is a solo show. No guests, guys. I am calling an audible here. This was going to be a little two-in-one episode, but now you're going to have 2 different episodes, and I'm saving this guest until later. You know what's going on right now? It's the beautiful, the wonderful, the meeting of all the countries in Paris right now. And a lot of people's schedules have been way busier the past week than they anticipated, okay? So that's just a little teaser. It's going to be someone who's got caught up in travel. That's going to be a different episode. But I promise you guys an amazing episode today. And I promise you, I'm very proud of this episode because I think not too often do we take a moment and really do a deep dive on a player that we seem to know a lot about, but how do they get to where they are? And so Shakira Austin, she turns 24 today. I'm going to talk about meeting her, what it was like and what I heard from her. And I'm going to go through a compilation of interviews that she's done. So we're really going to get a whole life story from Shakira Austin and leave room for the day she comes on again, because she came on with Jackie Powell in the past for the player marketing agreement episode. And yeah, so that's literally more than enough love for this episode, but I had to talk about Unrivaled and I wanted to preview a little bit of segment 2, but let's just get right into it. Okay. So Shakira Austin, this is her life story. And this is a very important one because it is so, and I told you I'll get right into it. So actually, no, let's get right into it. Shakira came from a very small town, and there were not many big names in Maryland. She's actually the oldest of 7 kids, and she said once, quote, "I've been a mom since I was 13, end quote. Her uncle had played at Oregon and then overseas, but there's something about being the oldest child. And for me, I'm also one of a big family. I'm the youngest of 6. And so I don't know what it's like to be an older sibling. So I texted my brother, who's the oldest. I said, "What do you think being the oldest of so many siblings does for your grind?" He goes, "Gives you no choice but to hustle. Parents couldn't spoil me when all the other kids came around." Shout out to Pete for that. So just think about that, being the oldest sibling of so many kids, you have to put a lot on your plate. And she said, "I've been a mom since I was 13. She then goes on to not only grow to be 6'5", but to be really, really talented because of hard work. So let's start. She's in the Woodbridge High School gym. She's training with her trainer, Mike McMiller, and she really expanded her game when this started. She said, "I hated him for it. He had me going against his daughter, Kiani McMiller, and it elevated her game." So Riverdale Baptist, she did her freshman year at James Monroe High School. And then she decided to leave to better her career. So in segment 2, we're going to get into her high school career, her high school accolades, McDonald's All-American in there, and then the drama that happened in college and why it caused her to leave Brenda Freeze and go over to Coach Yo. So segment 2 is that. Segment 3, we're going to get into her professional career and her future. More Locked On Women's Basketball after this little break. All right, guys. The Yankees, man. The Yankees. They're not doing too hot, guys, but they're traveling up to Boston, shipping up to Boston, and they're going to be playing their rivals. So I love going to MLB games during the summer. It's so much fun, and I honestly have some of my best memories at games because you really never know what's going to happen in the conversation you're going to have, and obviously baseball you're going to watch. So Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch. So there's so many app features that I really, really like. And the best is one where I know I'm not getting gypped. The lowest price guarantee or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, guys, so let's get more into Shakira's high school career. Thank you so much for staying with us. We have a lot to unpack, okay? So as I mentioned, in high school, she ends up transferring. So she goes to a smaller high school, but then she realized that not many people around there were doing what she wanted to do. So she transfers to Colonial Forge High School. And listen to the stat line: 18 points and 12.3 rebounds as a junior. And she also blocked 68 shots. Forge also won the Class 6A state title that year. And then she goes on to be the 4th ranked player in the nation in 2018 recruiting class, the 2018 McDonald's All-American. All right. You asked for it. McDonald's All-American. Okay. Who else was a McDonald's All-American that year? Okay, we'll go through it. Shakira Austin, forward, 6'5", Riverdale Baptist School. And she's going to Maryland. Jenna Brown, Amira Collins, Emily Engstler, Destiny Henderson, Jasmine Massengill, Valencia Myers, Olivia Nelson Ododa, Isabella Nicoletti, Jordan Nixon, Sedona Prince, and Madison Williams. Coached in the East by Dawn Sealer. And the West team, Elizabeth Balogun, Charlie Collier, Akira DaCosta, Elizabeth Dixon, Queen Egbo, Mackenzie Forbes, Caitlin Gilbert, Zariel Nelson, Catherine Reese, Honesty Scott, Grayson, Alyssa Smith, and Kristen Williams, coached by Janine Herbert-Trow. So this was the McDonald's All-American roster that she was a part of. And then she has college to look forward to. So this whole time she's playing AAU with Boo Williams. She also was a Jordan Brand Classic Game MVP of the away team with 18 points and 14 rebounds. And now it's time to go to college, right? So she thought to herself, I just want to bring something back to my hometown. Maryland, she's real close to home being at Maryland. But that's also one of the reasons why she ends up leaving. Maryland was a top 25 team almost every year. And then Shakira said, Coach Freeze is one of the best coaches for women's college basketball. She goes on to say, I loved her style of coaching and Maryland's style of play for my game. She developed so many players and the team felt like a family environment. It's also an hour away from home, so the family support is an even bigger bonus. Then, her freshman year, she's named Big East freshman team after a school record of 89 blocks that season. Second season, sophomore year, all big team, second team. But then right before she gets drafted, she recounts the story of ending up transferring to Coach Yo in Ole Miss. Quote, things just didn't go as it was expected to go. It was a tough decision. It was heartbreaking. It just felt like I needed a new space, outside of family issues. So this is her story, but she was going through some really hard things, even though it seemed like on the outside she's winning. So she's one of the top recruits in the nation, but around her senior year, her mom was locked up to sophomore year of college. So Shakira explains this, and she says, quote, being a player, being a woman, it definitely hurt. Then me and my dad had a fallout, end quote. So she's saying everything that she was going through with her family at that time, it was hurting. And then, to make matters worse, she also had a falling out with her dad. So then she entered the portal right when COVID hit. So this is 2020. This is really bad timing. Everything was on Zoom, text messages, phone calls. It wasn't a typical transfer portal experience. You're not going to go see the school first, nothing like that. She actually didn't even know Coach Yo that much. But she said, I've dealt with so much off the court that playing a sport comes easy. She could have gone to a top-ranked team, gone to a team that was competing for a national championship, but she went to a team that had 0 conference wins. So it was a huge risk. She goes on to be first team All SEC in 2021 and 2022. And then at Ole Miss, and this will circle back into her life story, just in the grander scheme of things, is she actually got to have a CPS experience and go see what it was like to work as a social worker. And it was important to her, she said, because she was someone who had gone through a child custody battle. So that's a little bit of the basketball of it all, of the process. And that's all background for what I'm going to turn to and talk about next, which is her current reality and her future. So entering the WNBA. This is story time, guys. April 11th, 2022, she was drafted 3rd overall. And I just want to note, I was at that draft, right? And this is not about me, but this is about someone who was there and who saw her outfit. It looked amazing. She went on to be WNBA All-Rookie Team 2022. And then she was the Israeli champion overseas. She was the league's best player, winning a championship in 2022. And then it was a WNBA season that actually ended in an injury. So she was trying to go into a passing lane for a steal against the Liberty. But then she hurt her hip. It was a season-ending torn labrum. But it taught her something. She said she had to find out ways to be kind through injury. It's put a smile on other people's faces because it made her feel good. So let's go through these stats before we finish up the rest of what makes her her, which includes business decisions as well. So her best season scoring was 2020 to 2021 at Ole Miss, 18.6 points per game. In the W, in 2022, she averaged right around 8.7. This was around 10 in 2023. And she did play in a lot of games last year. 2022, she played in a fair amount. This year, she's balling, right? Like, we've seen this. Shakira Austin looks so good. Happy birthday to Shakira. And she's someone who's only getting better. So let's talk about the things that are maybe pushing her along in a really, really, really good way. More Locked On Women's Basketball right after this break. Welcome back, women's basketball fans. Thank you so much for being here, making Locked On Women's Basketball your first listen every day. Are you watching Fox Sports or ESPN on your TV all day? Do you have to turn down the volume with all that shouting? Make the switch to Locked On Sports today. A free 24/7 sports streaming channel program for you every day to bring you the biggest sports stories without all the screaming. Locked On Sports Today brings you can't miss analysis, opinions, and news, streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. All right, so Shakira Austin is someone who is averaging now 11.7 points, 6.8 rebounds, an assist, and 0.5 steals per game. So this is up, guys. This is up for her, and it's her best average so far in the W. She's someone that we have to keep an eye out for 100%, and she's someone that just looked in such good form. So she had the injury last year, not playing much this year. Also, business-wise, her business opportunities. She's now represented by Octagon, and then she's also saying that she's a competitor. She's a competitive person from the DMV. It just makes you stand out, confidence and swag. So throughout her career, she switched levels, right? So in high school, she changes schools to try and go to a better school. It works out. College, she kind of goes to a school that's not winning as much, but she makes the most of it and only gets better. At the Mystics, she only has gotten better. It's what she does. And then with the PMAs that she was a part of this year, and this is the time I got to meet her, and this is going to be one of the final stories before I wrap it up and say one little message from a fan to Shakira. She was at the player marketing agreement meetings, right? And I'm so excited to meet her, talk to her. And really, I'm just free roaming, getting social content for the next. Follow us at the Next Hoops if you aren't already. And if you are, like it, just keep liking everything we put out. Anyway, so she's there. And I'm like, Shakira, can I take a little video of you? Blah, blah, blah. And she was so sweet. She was so funny. First, we go through her outfit, a lot of Zara, but then I had each of them into a microphone say what they were manifesting this year. That this was a magical microphone, whatever you say into it will happen, yada, yada. And she said something about, it was either like buying a house or like getting paid more, blah, blah, blah. And I just think it's so amazing. She's always leveling up, and she's kind of like taking her time to catch up to who she even is. And sometimes going through injury, it's such a disappointing thing to go through, and the hardships that she's been through, she's always using that as an opportunity to level up. And she wants to keep on working in fashion. She wants to model. She likes modeling. Her draft night look was amazing, especially because she's 6'5". Even Jackie Powell asked her, "Are you sketching out what you wanna make?" And she said, "Yes, I actually want to have my own clothing line. I sketched out a lot. It might not be great, but I do it." And then she wants to keep on giving back. So like during Thanksgiving, she'll give out with her family food to people that need it. And Jackie asked her what her ideal community event would be that she wants to do. And Shakira said she loves basketball, loves to cook. She would want to cook for kids. She has a deal with Nike that allows her to run camps, and, they'll subsidize the cost. Who she wants to go to a game: LeBron, Kalani, Janae Aiko. And then she was like, I can name so many people, but I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan like that. We're on the same level. So she's always trying to catch up to who she is and really own that, because she is that girl. Like, she has had such a successful career, drafted 3rd overall. And she actually brought up Angel Reese as well. And this will be how we tie up the episode. Thank you so much again for joining me. She said Angel Reese and Cardi B, like a reference like that, meaning making things happen and tying in pop culture. And she wants to keep on having that effect. So for the Mystics, this is just one player to look out for, guys. It's Shakira Austin's birthday. Make sure you go wish her happy birthday. And on Twitter, shout out to, we're going to pick one special person, low-key, because only one person responded to this, but that's just it for now. D Nice, Darren Garcia 34 on X said, Have a blessed and healthy birthday. Can't wait to see you back on the court at They Love Kira, the little birthday emoji. So happy birthday to Shakira Austin, guys. Make sure you go wish her a happy birthday. I am Gigi Speer. This has been Locked On Women's Basketball. Thank you guys so much, genuinely, for being a part of this, listening to a story every day. There's so many cool stories out in the W, and I like doing these little solo episodes where we could dive into just one player at a time. And thank you for all the love on all the podcasts. I know I've been cranking them out and covering in for some of our hosts, and I'm just so grateful that you guys are tuning in. And yeah, I appreciate all the feedback. So thank you. I'm Gigi Speer, Gigi.Speer on Instagram, Gigi_Speer on X. Check me out. And also check out the Locked On streaming channel. If you're watching Fox Sports or ESPN on your TV all day, make the switch to Locked On Sports today. It brings you can't miss analysis, opinions, and news streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Have a great day, and happy birthday, Shakira.